Hello and welcome to the flipping and wholesaling houses in New York show. I am Michael Pinter. I am driving, so I can't really look at the screen so much. But this is really an important one that a lot of people I don't think get, and I want to explain it because it's incredibly important. I talked about it a little at the RIA meeting yesterday. And the question is, why do sellers sell to investors like us? And I think a lot of people can't even fathom why anyone would sell. But I want everybody to understand, I'll get into why in a second, but really it is a voluntary transaction. You know, a lot of people think we take advantage of people, we rip people off, we get things at discounts and sell it, but it's a voluntary transaction. There's no difference between going into Starbucks and paying $5 for a coffee that you know will cost Starbucks 30 cents or 50 cents because you want the convenience of it, right? You don't want to buy a coffee machine, you don't want to buy cream, you don't want to buy stirs, you don't want to buy a cup, and you know that they're making money on it. And it's the same exact thing with a seller. A seller sells to an investor and gives up some money, some proceeds of the sale, in exchange for convenience and certainty, right? The certainty of knowing they're going to get the price that the investor tells them, because there's no outs, and the convenience of not having to deal with realtors, not having to deal with buyers who are going to come in and do an inspection and then ask them to fix something, and then do an appraisal and maybe ask them to fix something else, and not to deal with a long process that they don't know where it's going to end. They are simple, and every transaction, if you think about it, is trading money for convenience and certainty, right? When you buy anything, when you go buy a meal, I mean, I'm going to food, but that's simple. You know that the cost of the raw materials of the food, the ingredients, are less than you paid, but you're paying for the convenience of not having to make it yourself. That's pretty much it. And it's the same thing with sellers. They're selling their house to investors for less money than they probably can get for the convenience. Now, sometimes they have to sell to an investor, right? If the house is unmortgageable or terrible, or they have a crazy time situation where they have to either sell quickly or they just want not to be on the time frame of a buyer, then they need to sell to an investor. But in many cases, they don't need to sell to an investor, but they don't want to go through the lengthy and inconvenient process of selling it when it's listed on the multiple listing service and dealing with that. So that is why they sell. Sellers sell to investors and give up some money in exchange for convenience and certainty, right? The certainty is that when we go into contract, we are going to close it. They are going to get that price. Normal sale contract, and I've done this thousands of times, where there is a mortgage contingency, which is pretty much 99% of every regular retail house. There is no certainty, right? Because I was in the mortgage business for 17 years, and I can tell you, people change their mind and they can get a denial. It took me maybe 60 seconds to give somebody a denial, and that is the get out of the contract free card. So anybody that's in a regular contract, the buyer can get out. Now, obviously, most transactions, the buyer is going to close. But to be honest, there isn't that much certainty. And I know because I just had a contract fall through in Elmont. Somebody had a problem with their mortgage, and that was after many, many months of being in contract. And there's nothing I could do about it, and I put it back on the market, and I'm going to sell for more probably. But the basic thinking of sellers who sell to investors are, I'm trading some money for convenience and certainty. And then you have to think that way. And if you don't think that way, if you think that somehow we investors take advantage of people, you know, then this is not really the business for you, obviously, and you just don't get it. And if you think there's a difference between buying a cup of coffee at Starbucks and us buying a property, there really is no difference. You know you're getting ripped off, right? That coffee does not cost $4 or $5. That's crazy, right? But you know you're paying for that convenience and certainty of not having to make it yourself and not having to deal with all the hassle involved. And it's exactly the same thing, usually on a much larger level, when you are buying a house from someone who does not want to deal with the uncertainty and inconvenience of this regular sale process. That is it. So if you're interested in finding out more, you can go to howtoflipnewyork.com. If you like these videos, please click like. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. Please press comments for any interest. There's a lot. I may do a whole series now on mindset, because this is a big mindset issue. A lot of people that get into this business think that they're ripping people off, and they obviously have no success if that's the case. If you believe that you have to rip somebody off to make money, you're never going to make money, right? In general, if you believe that in order for somebody to get rich, somebody else has to get poor, you're never going to be rich. That's the truth, right? And I don't know how deep into mindset I want to go on this one, but I in my course, I really have a whole module. The first module is on mindset, just to get you to where you need to think, because very often a lot of people, including myself, had limiting beliefs in our head about money, and it screws us up. Sometimes it screws us up forever. Sometimes it screws us up for a short time. But you got to get those messes in your head out. So one of them is clearly about why sellers sell to investors. This is very important, right? This is not a it's not a situation where this is predatory and somebody's taking advantage of somebody else. Sellers sell to investors and give up some money for the convenience and certainty of for a more convenient and secure and certain sale. That is it. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Have a great day.